Hello, hello. Welcome to Tapping Tuesday. My name is Fable, and for the next hour, we are going to do tapping together, which is EFT, which stands for Emotional Freedom Techniques. Tapping is this, tapping is this. So if that's what you're looking for, you made it. You're in the right place. If this is your first time, welcome. If it is not your first time, welcome back. I'm so happy to be here with you. I'm going to give a quick rundown of how the session's going to go, and then we'll jump right into doing tapping together. It's a little bit different than say we were face to face, right? Because I can't see you, but it certainly will still work. This is a session for you to become more empowered, more knowledgeable, more familiar with EFT, for you to gain some sort of common practice where at least you're doing it weekly, right? Here in this community, for you to gain some uh, confidence that you're not alone, that you've got me, that you've got the other people who are here on this live. So, for all of those reasons, the way that the tapping works here is I tend to stay in one tapping spot. I usually go either to these two spots or this rather than go all the way through, because in a normal session, we typically start here and then top of the head, around the eyes, everywhere. Please still do that if that's what feels good to you. If you don't know all those tapping spots, don't worry. You can follow along with me and you'll do just fine. Um, I want you to move along the spots as what feels good for you, because maybe you wear glasses, and these spots are difficult for you to reach. That's fine. Skip them. Maybe you've got a headache and anything here is just not going to work for you today. That's fine. Because as far as EFT goes, the communication, the signal that we're trying to send to our brain, one tapping spot will do. So there are benefits to using all of the spots. There's a reason why it exists that way. But for the purposes of here, I'm going to only demonstrate one spot at a time because it is enough to work. I want you to go according to your own pace. And also, I don't want you to be worried about where I am in the tapping sequence. The last thing I want is for you to be really into something, when you're tapping here and you're really working out something deep, and then you look at me and then I'm here and then you panic because, oh no, do I go through all these spots? What do I do now? That's not what we're here for. So my intention is to be very, very boring and to be here as a support if you need me. But I want you to feel the ability to adjust according to what's best for you and your body, because that's where all of it's happening for you. I'm here to offer suggestions and guidance, but all of the magic happens in your own body. Also, with that, as we tap, there is a live chat that goes the entire session. I do my very, very best to incorporate all of the suggestions that we get. And if we tap on something that doesn't quite fit for you, I will do my best to give you an offering of how you can adjust that. And any wording that I use, I try to be really open and broad with what I choose. If there's a more specific word for you, I want you to say that instead. So replace any and all words. You have my full permission to do that as we go throughout this session. If you want to offer a suggestion, but it's a little too vulnerable for you to put it out there on the internet, then you can always email me, and my email is at the top of the chat. I will also speak it out loud. It is Fable, Fable, at EFTuniverse.com. And you can send it to me there. I can bring it up the following week anonymously, and then you can still have that incorporated into a tapping session. Also, if you have questions about EFT, I tend to not answer them here because I love to talk about it. Like, seriously, you guys, you get me going and I'll be here for weeks. But I want you to experience tapping here, not just talking about it. So I generally don't answer questions unless they're like really fast. But please email me with them because I want you to have your answers, just not here on this live. Alrighty, I think that covers everything. So I'm going to say hi in the chat. We do have some community emails that I'm going to bring up today. We will ground for just a quick minute and then we'll get right into the tapping. Oh my goodness, so many chats today. Yay! Hi, Serena. Hello, Amanda Jane. Oh, you did the eco meditation? That's such a good meditation. I love it so much. It's consistently our highest video. It's rewatched a lot. Hi, Mary. Okay, suggestion for today is stress leading to anxiety. That's a good one. Thank you. Serena. Oh, you're very welcome, and you're part of it. So thank you for your awesomeness as well. Hi, Trisha. Hi, Sam. I'm glad you're here too. Hi, Erin. Hello, Jackie. I'm so glad you're here. Hello, Jan. Okay, stress about feeling a bit isolated socially. I feel that often. I feel you on that. Um, hmm. Just to go, maybe when I talk about that a little bit more, I might ask you a question. Hi, Marion. I'm happy you're here too. And Trisha agrees about anxiety tapping and finding time for oneself. Yes. And stress, anxiety suck. Good idea. Hello, Tanya. Glad to have you here. Hello, Miriam. Okay, my suggestion would be to tap on not being able to ask for help. I appreciate that. Thank you. And Tanya, tapping on flu and the immune system. What's great about that is that all tapping helps the immune system. So regardless, even if we don't do it specifically, just the response that it has on the nervous system, you're going to get that immune system boost. So that's fantastic. Anxiety is really sucking all my energy right now. It's tapping our highest good and outcome. Thank you. Love that. Hello, John. Always helpful to work on reducing stress. Yes. Hello, Fast Scout. Feeling seasonal changes, struggling with low mood, side effects from a drug I had to take, but off and on for 2 weeks. Okay. Glad that you're here too. Hello, Magenta from Los Angeles. Okay. Health and immunity, also good. Hello, Joy. Stress, having difficulty navigating life. Okay. And Joyce, hello. Looking forward to today's sessions. Yay. Me too. Mayor, hello, hello. Jan, mostly I'm back at work, a little time for friends and family. Time to regroup alone. Miss my peeps, they miss me. Hello, Fiona. Just found this perfect timing. Yay! I'm so glad you're here. Just made a group to fund my son's recovery. Really triggering. Being able to ask for help also. Yeah. Thank you for that. That's very like I feel that. Alrighty. Love it. Thank you so much for all of these suggestions. And there's so much synchronicity in this group because also the community emails that I've gotten, they're all basically based around being stuck and not knowing how to move forward, feeling stuck in a loop, feeling stuck in a place, and wanting to, sorry, I'm like filtering through 3 or 4 different people's emails in my brain. I'm trying to like put them all together into one. How do we get out of that? How do we get unstuck when it feels like it's like this mystery of I don't know why I'm stuck. It's not like I know what I have to go do and I'm procrastinating. It's not that. It's I'm stuck, but I can't see how. And I love that. And tying into like the anxiety that's being brought up, and the asking for help could also kind of tie into that. But yeah, I think we've got some really solid categories for tapping today. Alrighty, let's go ahead and get grounded. Let's see, how do we want to do this today? Since there's a lot of kind of heightened stuff, let's do a very gentle grounding. And I want you, before we do anything, to just notice in your body, like how you're feeling. Like, do you feel like this buzz of just like this really like kind of chaotic energy? Do you feel like, no, I'm dissociated. It's too much to be in my body right now. In what way are you feeling the wavelengths of energy in your body? Do you feel yourself tense? Are you flexing your muscles right now? Are you breathing shallowly in your chest? We're just taking note. We're not judging and we're not concerned about it. We're just taking note right now. Okay. And I want you to imagine like if it's static or a color or a thickness of like fluid or something. And what does that represent to you? That wavelength of energy that's vibrating in your body, in your aura right now. And let's go ahead and take a breath as we recognize and just notice what that is. So breathe in and out. And now I want you to look at your hands. And we're just going to notice we have 10 fingers. Or if you have more or less fingers, that's okay. Notice that number. And look at both sides. of your hands, the tops, and what we typically call the palms. And now, as you're looking, let's take a breath. Let it out. Now wiggle your pointer fingers. So this one, just wiggle. Try not to wiggle any of your other fingers. See if you can move that finger in some way without moving any other fingers. Good. And now let's wiggle our ring finger, our fourth finger. So this one. See if you can wiggle that a couple of different ways. So really focus in on that task. Okay, now let's put all of our fingers together and open them apart. And just notice, do they open equal amounts? Are the spaces pretty equal, or are they different? My pinky's open way further. That has to do with my hypermobility. I could open them further because that's a laxity there, but interesting. Just noticing spaces between our fingers. And let's take a breath and let it out. And now as we notice that space in between our fingers, we're going to notice that that is like a valve, places where all of this static, all of this energy can just kind of flow out, just kind of drain. And we can let it go as it comes out and just feel it draining. All of the extra stuff, not the stuff that we need, not the stuff that we want, but that extra noise. Feel it draining from your head, down past your ears, down past your jaw, down past the back of your skull. Feel it draining from your neck, your shoulders, down your arms, out through these fingertips, or out through those spaces. And let's take a breath here. And now look down at your feet. And you may have shoes on, you may have socks on, slippers on, all of those are fine. But just notice, just like you have spaces in between your fingers, there's also spaces in between your toes. Look at that. You also have valves there too. And just notice that the rest of your body, all of that extra energy is just leaking down out through those open spaces in between your toes. So down through your rib cage, your hips, your pelvis, down your legs, past your knees, your calves, past your ankles, and just out through your toes. And let's take a breath here. And now just notice the space that's in your body now. And notice if you're sitting differently. Notice if you feel different on the space that you're sitting. And just allow that recognition of the shift. Okay, good job. Alrighty, I'm going to check the chat one more time. Okay, tapping on feeling trapped, avoidance of stuff to do, student catching up with a disability, overwhelmed by work and time management. Boy, I really relate to that. Oh, wait, did I already read that? Or did I miss that before? Either way, still love it. Changes throughout the day. Not sure what's up with the Schumann residents. Hello, MS. Calmer and sat upright. Yay. It'll be wonderful before bedtime. Great. Yeah, do it, Jan. Absolutely before bedtime. Okay, let's go ahead and get into our first tap. Let's start with anxiety. I feel like starting there, because if we don't calm that down, then it's harder to focus on all of the stuckedness anyway. So go ahead and start tapping on whatever acupoint you want to tap on. And let's just talk for a moment while we're tapping. So when you think of anxiety, when you look for that, what resonates in your body when you say anxiety, like how do you know you're feeling anxious? Okay, where is that showing up for you in your body? Do you feel it? Your gut is clenching. Does your chest feel tight and restricted? Does your throat feel restricted? Does your mind just race and race, and not in a way that's beneficial? You don't feel like engaged, let's go, but more like something's running off the rails. How would you describe it? So go ahead, in as many words as you need to, figure out how you would describe this anxiety. Okay. And now, if you had to give it a title, like a phrase, a title of all of this explanation of how you could explain this anxiety in your body, how would you title it? Would you say something like the big bad feeling? Like, it doesn't have to be a perfect summarization, just a title, whatever makes sense to you. I think I will use the big bad feeling. So replace that with whatever title you get when we say that in the tap. Okay. Let's do some phrase work. As I allow myself this space to focus in a safe environment and pay attention to this anxiety in my body, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though right now, this big bad feeling is causing me a lot of problems, and I don't have an answer yet, I still choose to deeply and completely accept myself anyway. Even though right now, this big bad feeling, I don't want it, and I don't yet know how to get rid of it, I still choose to deeply and completely accept myself anyway. This feeling, this feeling in my body, this big feeling, this big bad feeling, all of this anxiety, all of the anxiety in my body. As I consider all of this anxiety in my body, I wonder, why is it here? Well, it's here because I'm overwhelmed. There's too much to do. There's too much to worry about. There's too much to think about, too much to worry about. There's too much to think about, and I can't do everything. As I consider the reasons for this anxiety, I deeply and completely accept myself. This makes sense. There is so much to worry about. There is so much to do. And I am only one person. And I very likely cannot do everything all of the things that I think about, the things that I want to do, the things I feel like I should do, the things I'm absolutely obligated to do. It is too much, even if it all deserves time, even if it all deserves to be completed, even if I could be a good person to do it. So I guess the anxiety is just inevitable. I wonder, is it inevitable? Yes. No. I don't know. As I consider whether or not anxiety is inevitable, I hold space to discover different perspectives. I wonder, are there other things behind this anxiety? What is the truth, this unspoken truth that the anxiety is a feeling for? Is it that I'm afraid I'm going to fail? That I don't know if I'm good enough. I don't know if I'm strong enough. I don't know if I've got it together enough. I don't know if I'll care enough to keep trying. As I consider my concerns and my beliefs, that right now are attached to my anxiety, attached to my body, attached to my to-do list. I wonder, if I feel anxiety, this big bad feeling in my body, as a result of my own fears and concerns, then wouldn't it be true that it's a part of me that is maybe asking for comfort? Doesn't it mean that it's a part of me that's expressing that it cares about the outcome? And maybe it even cares about how the process is going. Hmm. Okay. I suppose that could be true. But how is that helpful? Why does that matter? Well, I wonder. Let's say I don't get any of it done. I don't accomplish any of it. It just doesn't happen. Is that my worst case scenario? Or is the worst case scenario what I'm afraid that will mean about me? Is it really about whether or not this thing occurs? All of these things on my to-do list. Or am I trying to outrun or disprove something negative, something bad about myself? As I consider the different levels and complexities that could exist and that are being expressed by this big bad feeling, I allow for there to be multiple possibilities. There are things that genuinely need to be done, of course. But maybe it's also possible that I am hoping that it will give me some healing too, that it will allow me to get away from something, to complete something, to release something. Okay. All right. What do I do about that? This just feels more complicated. I don't feel like any of this has helped yet. Well, what if I allowed for the experience to be different? What if instead of trying to prove something by my finished product, what if the trying is the proof? What if I am proving all along, every day, every decision, every moment, how fantastic I am, how worthy I am, how incredible it is that I'm doing what I'm doing? Oh, I may or may not be comfortable with that. Even if I'm not sure how to be comfortable with this new perspective yet, I allow myself space to consider it. Because isn't it true that things change in gradients? Change happens in moments, in 1,000 steps. When I go to turn my body to a different direction, I'm not just suddenly there. I have all of these little micro turns, and then I'm there. How is what I'm doing any different? It's not. I am succeeding because I'm trying. Even if I have a try and it doesn't work, the trying is the success. The trying is the success. And it may still be true that I don't get everything done and the timeline that I want. in the way that I want, the quality that I want, the amount that I want. But that's an awful lot for one person. It's a lot. But I'm still going to try. And because I try, I care. And because I try, I'm engaged. And because I try, knowing there's so much, I'm brave. It's a big deal. And I'm doing it right now. So what if every time I start to feel nervous, concerned, something feels too big, it's too hard, or I feel sad, wish something was different. Instead of telling myself if there's anything negative, I give myself this big feeling in my body a positive message of, hey, it's okay that that's sad. That means that it matters. That means that you care. That means that you miss them, you love them. It means that you really wanted that for yourself. And that's positive. That means you care. And it's okay to be disappointed or stressed or nervous because you're trying really hard. And that's brave. Because trying really hard means you don't know how to do it yet. You're trying something new and it's big. And that's incredible. Not everybody does that. Look at you. Look at you. And it's okay to have big feelings. And it's okay to push through them. It's okay to set them aside and take a minute. But maybe it's also okay to let that mean that what you're doing is good and important and you're awesome for it. These feelings, these big feelings, these good feelings in my body, the feelings of caring, the feelings of trying, the feelings of expanding. I allow these feelings to be a companion, to live and breathe along with all of my other feelings. And as I continue along doing my best, I give myself permission to feel the beauty that I am doing my best. And I allow my try to be evidence of my success. And I deeply and completely accept myself. Okay, pause tapping. Take a deep breath. take just a moment and feel into your body. And when you think the word anxiety or that big bad feeling in my body, notice how it impacts you. Does it plug in the same way that it did before? Or does it feel gentle and soft? Does it feel further away? Does it feel smaller? Does it have so many other feelings around it now? Does it feel like, yeah, but I have understanding about it now? Were you sighing, crying, yawning, relaxing? Were you having epiphanies? Were you smiling? All of these are signs that your subconscious brain heard what you were offering and said, yes, please, I like that version. And it is now rewiring all of that. And it will continue to do that even though you're no longer tapping on it. So, really good job. Alrighty, let's jump into. Sorry, I forgot where I put my mouse. Mm, I'm glad that that connected with you, Fiona. Yay. Okay, let's jump into being stuck. I think one aspect that can be, I'm going to chat for just a minute because I feel like this is important background. So often, when those of us who are attracted to self-help and self-healing, um, it's kind of like a lone journey, right? And it's, well, it's inside of me and healing all of these things. And there's multiple reasons for that, right? There is truth to it, that it is our bodies and our mind. Sometimes it's a bit of a protective thing of, well, I don't really trust anybody else in this spot, so I'm just gonna do this on my own over here. Sometimes it could be well, I have to prove, to myself, I have to do this alone because I just gotta get there. Sometimes it's like a guilt thing or a shame thing, well, I did this to myself or I made these choices to get here. So now I've got to dig myself out. And there are things attached to all of that that can make it more difficult, right? That can keep us stuck in a spot. But one spot that I feel like really gets overlooked so often is just the practicality of applying new information. And this is one way that without EFT, the subconscious brain makes shifts on its own when it receives new information. And that can be towards the negative or positive. Someone who doesn't have a fear of spiders learns something about a spider that they're like, oh my gosh, that's terrifying. And now that's a thing. Or someone can learn a fact about something, this is a trauma response. And then it's, oh, well, now I know I'm not neurotic. There's nothing wrong with me. I am having an understandable result to something that I experienced, right? And that can create an empowerment to then allow that to heal in the subconscious brain. So sometimes when we're stuck, it is helpful to allow ourselves to receive information. Let's see. I do think that's the way that I want to take it today. So if it doesn't quite resonate with you as we're tapping along, that's okay. I will still try to leave it broad enough that it could be assistive to you adjusting the words. In people who are empaths and typically drawn to this type of work, so I'm going to kind of squish us all into a category. We might not all fit. A survival instinct that often happens is fawning. So Fawning. There's a fantastic book called Fawning. It's by a doctor. I'm not going to think of her name in this moment, but maybe before the live is over. And the book is just titled Fawning, and then there's a subtitle. There's a lot of angles to healing. If you've been tagged as like a people pleaser, that this could really be helpful for. I've gained a lot of knowledge in there. There are things that I have done that I didn't realize were like a response to that being my survival technique, that I'm learning new about. So sometimes it's a type of support that we just don't have yet. And it's not tapping to realize that support, but to, and this is where that like this other aspect comes in, to allow that, to receive that, to be able to recognize it when it's there. Because it doesn't always just come from us, from inside. Sometimes it really is about receiving. Okay. All right. So with all of that, let's go ahead and get into that tap. So go ahead and start tapping on whatever tapping spot feels good to you. And let's chat for just a second. And the category is wanting to become unstuck. And yeah, I think I'm just going to leave it that broad. And I don't know how to, I really want to keep the word stuck in there. So it's not grammatically correct, but, or maybe it is, it doesn't sound like it. I don't know how to become unstuck. It's kind of a weird phrasing, but all the words feel important. So I'm going to leave it that way. Okay. As I allow myself to pay attention to how much I feel stuck, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though right now I have no idea how to become unstuck, I still choose, with all of my frustrations, all of the feelings and thoughts I have about being stuck, even with all of that, I choose to deeply and completely accept myself anyway. Even though right now I don't want to be stuck and I have no idea how to become unstuck, I still choose to deeply and completely accept myself. But why? Why am I accepting myself while I'm stuck? I don't like it. I don't want it. I don't want to accept this version of myself. I don't want to be it anymore. I don't want to make friends with it. I don't want to care about it or chat about it. I just want it to go away. Even if I have some or all of these feelings or others, I still choose to deeply and completely accept myself. And I wonder, why do I have so many feelings about being stuck? That's a lot of feelings, and they're big. Why is being stuck so terrible? Are there times in my past, in the history of my life, where being stuck has been really bad? Maybe I've been punished. Maybe I've been judged. Maybe I got manipulated, tricked by someone else. Maybe I was left behind. Maybe someone got really angry at me. Maybe someone was really mean to me. Maybe I have a belief of it's dangerous for me to be stuck. Even if I have definitely some past events connected to being stuck in this current moment, I still choose to deeply and completely accept myself. And I hold space to find a secret little door that allows me to just get out, to just escape. I wonder, what if I did? What if I could? What if right now everything that I feel is keeping me stuck is gone? Do I feel safe? Would I be safe if I were so free? Or is there maybe a part of me that, as much as I want it, as much as I desire it, is really scared of that freedom? Yes. No. I don't know. Whether or not I can tell that I have some fear about being unstuck, I continue to hold space to find a way out. Well, geez, if being stuck is this complicated and it's tied to all of these things in my history and it's tied to all of these feelings in my present and my future, that's a lot of work. And that's a lot of time. I don't know that I've got what I need, but I need to be unstuck. No wonder I don't know what to do. What to do? Getting unstuck. I don't know how to get unstuck. Wanting to be unstuck. Not knowing what unstuck feels like. I wonder, what have I done in other scenarios when I have felt stuck without knowing how to do something? Like riding a bike or cooking some food. Did I sit and ponder it and try to work it all out in my head before I ever gave it a try? Or when I've had a gap of knowledge, did I have help? Was there someone else riding a bike that I could observe? Did I have a bike that I could try? Maybe fail a lot, but nevertheless, learn. Or did I have a cookbook and ingredients? Maybe a person there who'd already made it before. Yeah, but this isn't the same. This stuck is different. I don't know what's keeping me stuck. Okay, well, then maybe my first step is knowledge. Maybe if I could find definitions or words, experiences, something, then I would know what building blocks that I need. Okay, that sounds fine. But if I don't know why I'm stuck, how am I supposed to find that out? Hmm. Finding knowledge, figuring out, discovering patterns, discovering familiarity. Hmm. Well, I mean, the internet is easy, of course. I can Google things, social media. There are videos that people make. I could look for things, podcasts, books. Ugh, it's back to hard work again. There's so much. And I still don't know exactly what I'm looking for. Okay, maybe I could search with the ideas that I have and I could get lucky. Wouldn't that be fabulous? Maybe it would be helpful to ask myself a few more questions. What is it that I hope for in being unstuck? What is it that I believe it's unlocking for me? Do I believe it's connection? Do I believe it's success? Do I believe it's safety, recognition, leadership, stepping into my power? Okay, those sound pretty good. But I wonder, if that is what I'm looking for, how would I feel if I received it right now? I haven't resolved being unstuck. I'm still in this space. But what if I received recognition, even though I'm stuck? What if I received connection, even though I'm stuck? What if I received success, or had acknowledgement of success, even though I'm stuck. Does that feel the way that I want it to? Or maybe there is something that this represents for me. Maybe there's a truth that I believe either gets to exist or gets to no longer exist. And reaching that goal is what I believe will be proof of that. So I wonder, what does being stuck represent to me? What does being unstuck and receiving represent to me? Because what if right now I'm so certain that what I want is going to be the thing and it isn't? And what if what's keeping me stuck has nothing to do with that end goal of mine? Still a good goal. Still great for me to reach for things. Absolutely. But what does it represent? Does it mean I'm heard? I'm valued? Does it mean I'm beyond reproach? They can't judge me anymore. They can't hurt me anymore. They can't make fun of me anymore. What does being stuck represent for me? What parts of me, what truths about me? As I consider what I currently feel to be true, both about being unstuck and being stuck, I deeply and completely accept myself. And I wonder, is it something that I agree with? Or am I trying to outrun and outprove something that someone else handed me, that I've felt obligated or just engaged because it made me angry or hurt my feelings, to disprove and make them wrong? Because while I can choose to engage that, maybe, maybe the reason why I'm stuck is because I don't want to anymore. I don't need to anymore. Maybe I'm ready to engage my own accelerator and I can put down the tasks that others handed me, the labels, the values, the beliefs, maybe they're not mine anymore. And maybe that's a really great thing. So even though being stuck is very frustrating and it can be complicated, and it may take me a while to figure it out, I trust. I trust that I can. I trust that I will. And as I explore what this represents to me, for me, and about me, I continue to hold space to see that door that will feel safe, and I will feel ready to walk through it and no longer be stuck. And as I allow this space for these understandings about being stuck, I deeply and completely accept myself. Okay, pause on tapping and take a breath. I know we're going a few minutes over today, so if you need to go, mwah. But if not, give me just a few minutes. Go ahead and think about how it feels when you think about being stuck. And it probably still doesn't feel fabulous because we didn't resolve it, but does it feel different? Can you think about it differently? Can you feel like it's something you can engage now? Is it a way of communication? Is it now a mystery, an opening rather than a barrier? I do want to, someone else may have already looked it up. I'm just going to do it real quick. I'm going to look up the author of that book just because I feel like it's so impactful. I'm trying to remember where I have it. Dr. Ingrid, Ingrid Clayton, Clayton. Again, the book is called Fawning. Yeah. So sometimes being stuck in our lives just means that we've taken that direction as far as it goes. And we don't need that direction anymore. And we're ready to just turn and redirect into a much better, happier place for ourselves. I hope that this has been enlightening for you today. I hope that you feel better. I hope that you feel more space and calm and warmth and joy in your body. Thank you for being here with me. I absolutely love this time that we get to spend together. I get excited about it and I think about you all the time. If you have questions, feel free to email me. I will post a video on Friday for you, and I will be here again next week. I hope that you have a wonderful week, and I hope I get to see you next week. If not, no worries. There will always be a video recording posted. I'll be thinking about you. I love you very much, and I hope I get to see you. Okay, bye-bye.